Imagine a suburban neighborhood where an overbearing HOA Karen thinks she can dictate your property and cut down your trees at will. But this time, nature, timing, and a little clever planning collide. What happens when entitlement meets unexpected consequences? The result is chaos, justice, and an unforgettable lesson in respecting boundaries. It all began on a warm, sunny morning, with birds chirping and the golden rays of sunlight streaming across the suburban streets. My backyard was peaceful, the centerpiece being a large oak tree that had been part of the property for decades. Its branches stretched wide, providing shade, character, and a home for countless birds and squirrels. The first warning came from neighbors whispering about Karen, the notorious HOA president who had recently taken it upon herself to enforce neighborhood standards. According to rumors, she had issued fines and complaints about properties without even visiting them, often assuming she had the right to make unilateral decisions. I had ignored her previous attempts, knowing my property rights were ironclad. Then one morning, I noticed the sound of chainsaws approaching. Heart-pounding, I rushed outside, just in time to see Karen directing a crew attempting to cut down my oak tree without any permission. Her expression was smug, assuming authority that legally did not exist over my property. My instincts kicked in immediately. I ran toward the scene, waving my arms, shouting, but she ignored me, convinced that she could intimidate me with her position and so-called HOA power. Time slowed as I realized what was happening. Her crew had begun cutting at a critical point, unaware of the structural instability caused by a weak branch nearby. I had always known this tree had a slight lean toward the boundary of her property. Nature was about to intervene in a dramatic way. I grabbed my phone, documenting everything. Cameras rolling, my voice shouting warnings, and neighbors emerging to witness the audacity of this act. It was unfolding like a suburban horror movie. Karen waved me off, clearly believing she could continue without consequences. Then it happened. The branch, weakened by years of stress, finally gave way. In an almost cinematic, slow-motion moment, the giant oak toppled, not in my yard, but directly onto her house, taking out part of the roof and leaving a shocking crater in the structure. Karen screamed, terrified, as dust and debris filled the air. For a moment, the world was silent, save for the crashing sound echoing through the neighborhood. Neighbors gawked, some running to check if anyone was hurt. I immediately called emergency services, making sure everyone, including Karen, was safe. Thankfully, she was shaken, but physically unharmed. The aftermath was chaos. Insurance claims, police reports, and neighborhood gossip surged. The HOA was blindsided. Their president, who had acted without permission, faced both legal and social consequences. The irony was unmistakable. Her attempt to assert authority had backfired spectacularly. I remained calm throughout, documenting everything. Video footage from my security cameras clearly showed the illegal action, the verbal warnings I issued, and the precise moments leading to the tree falling. This evidence became critical in the legal proceedings that followed. The community rallied behind me. Many neighbors had long felt intimidated by Karen's overreach and were relieved to see justice unfold. Discussions about property rights, the limits of HOA authority, and the importance of knowing local laws became widespread. Community meetings were organized to educate residents, ensuring that no one else would face similar harassment. In court, the HOA's case crumbled. The evidence was overwhelming: unauthorized property destruction, reckless endangerment, and the undeniable fact that Karen had acted without consent or legal authority. The judge ruled in my favor, ordering the HOA to reimburse damages and formally reprimanding Karen for her actions. In the months following, I repaired the tree area, reinforced other trees on the property, and installed additional security measures. The oak, though partially damaged, remained a symbol of resilience and justice. The neighborhood, inspired by the story, adopted measures to protect their property rights while promoting civility and lawful behavior. The tale spread online, featured on forums like Entitled People Reddit, illustrating what happens when entitlement collides with reality. Karen's reputation never recovered, and she became a cautionary example of overreach, arrogance, and the consequences of ignoring legal boundaries. Through it all, my message was simple: property rights are not to be infringed upon. entitlement has limits, and preparation combined with vigilance can turn even the most audacious acts of overreach into lessons for the community. The oak tree, now standing tall, reminded everyone that patience, documentation, and strategic response can restore balance even in the face of arrogance. Life returned to normal gradually. Birds returned to the oak, neighbors smiled, and the community learned the value of standing up for their rights. The story of the tree falling on Karen's house became legend, an unforgettable example of poetic justice in suburban America.